Bien, on va passer.
Well, says Mr. Trappier, thank you very much. We'll now move on to our business activity. Lots of things have featured already in the film, so I'll be fairly quick on the presentation, so to allow plenty of time for the questions. You've seen, of course, the star of the show in Le Bourget was the signature of the agreements with the three countries involved, France, Germany and Spain, regarding FCAS, the Future Combat Air System, that we are partnering with Airbus in, so to support this development that's preparing us all for the future. By 2040, we hope to see the commissioning of this system, FCAS. The Bourget Air Show is also a good opportunity to do some stock taking with political dignitaries who come and visit the air show. There were lots of them, and it's a chance to see the delegations. There were lots of those who came along this time too, and it was an opportunity for people among delegations to meet on a B2B basis and a one-to-one basis, and the public at large too, that comes to see the aviation business lines, the spaces we prepared for the GFAS entity, the employment recruitment area and the innovation area, and also it was a good opportunity to pay tribute to Serge Dassault, because it was the first Le Bourget Air Show without his presence. Now, the groundswell trends, you're familiar with them, I think. I won't dwell on them. There's geopolitical tension, as you know, that I won't go into in detail. Some uncertainties, too, regarding the relations between China and the United States, creating also further uncertainties with respect to the potential trade war between these two big countries, and hence ripple effects for certain companies. The Brexit, well, no comment on that. There's lots about that in the news, all the uncertainty hanging over a possible Brexit and how the UK might leave the European Union and how we'll have to rebuild some kind of business relationships and trading relationships with this important country. Economic environment, well, it's of course something that ensues from what I've just been saying. Uncertainty, the business climate can suffer from these uncertainties, but in the US we see development investment going on at a more normal pace. And then, of course, the dollar-euro exchange rate, the dollar is strong, and we've got to hedge against future currency fluctuations if the dollar is less strong in the future. So the Future Combat Air System, FCAS, this is something that encompasses different platforms and already existing airplanes with the future combat aircraft, the NGF. And initial design work was done at the start of the year, and we set up a contract between Dassault and Airbus, as you know, on this, so as to hopefully foresee the launch of demonstrators. The air show in Le Bourget was a major milestone because the three countries are in agreement now about the start of the demonstrator program. So we've got to get into the contractual and administrative details now so as to sign contracts and so on. But that's in process. The DGA for France with their counterparts in Germany and Spain that are basically in charge of getting these initial contracts going, hopefully in 2019. Now, the objective, I'd recall, is the first demonstrator flight in 2026. The military programming law here in France, you know, no Rafale deliveries for a certain number of years. So 2018, there were 3. 2019, there won't have been any. And the launch of the F4 at the end of 2018, we started working on it. This is a major issue. We hope to have an additional order by the end of the year for options to do with the F4 standard, and we'll resume deliveries then for the second part of the fourth tranche, 28 airplanes, that is, 28 Rafales as of 2022, and then reach the order of a fifth tranche that's been announced by the French Defense Ministry. An important notification was done, which was the contract notification for Ravel, which is the verticalized Rafale. Now, we have seen the contract notification for the French Rafale operational condition maintenance, that is OCM. We want to give more verticality to these maintenance contracts, give the responsibility for matters in a vertical way to the aircraft manufacturers. So we want to tie in all the supply chain, apart from the engines and the ejectable seats, which will be managed separately. So Dassault Aviation is the OCM single prime contractor for aircraft equipment, excluding the engines and seats. And you see, this is a contract that encompasses 10 years. Obviously, the order intake would be impacted by it. It'll, of course, contribute a lot to the French order intake. And a particular feature of the contract is the setting up of a big data platform that we're currently putting together in Dassault Systems and Dassault Aviation together, so as to foster a secure exchange of information with our user friends in the military arena. Now, deliveries for export markets of 10 Rafales of the 36 ordered by Qatar. I'm mentioning the end of August figure. This is September now, of course, and Thales has actually postponed the publication of its half-yearly results thanks to or because of Gemalto. There are things that happened over the summertime, for example, with respect to the Rafale 5 deliveries of Qatar Rafales. So to date, we've delivered 15 Rafales to Qatar. And the 5 that we've just delivered are actually ones that have arrived already. Very well. So in Egypt, we've delivered the 24th Rafale in July. It's not in the half-yearly results, of course, because the cutoff date was the end of June, but the delivery of the 24 Rafales to Egypt has now been done. And India, Rafale for India, first deliveries in 2019 of the contract of 36 Rafales ordered. India is an important country for us, of course, with the re-election now of the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and his party, his coalition. We're preparing the setting up of Make in India still. We're setting up in India we're in for the long haul. We're starting to manufacture Falcon parts. We've done it in a small hangar for the moment, and now they've built a big hangar that you can see on this photograph, which will help us to pursue our ramping up of our business efforts in India, leading to the final assembly of a Falcon 2000 in India, making certain parts locally. And it'll be true also slowly but surely with the Rafale, depending on the orders that we might obtain from India for the Rafale. So our supply chain is supporting us too. It's not just Dassault, but subcontractors too, going to settle in India as well. And we've even opened an engineering center in Pune, near Bombay. Now, the MALE drone, Eurodrone, we're working behind Airbus, which is the lead contractor here, dealing with the OCCAR, which is the contracting entity, and dealing with Germany, which is the lead country. For FCAS, France is the lead country, so here's Germany. And we are trying to obtain a contract which would enable us to develop a platform of this nature that would be competitive, but especially be more developed than what's been done by our American friends up to now, space programs. We're working on obtaining additional contracts from ESA. This will all depend on what we decided on at the Ministerial Conference next November in ISA. But in particular, we would like to continue our adventure there in small space vehicles, especially the Space Rider project. Also, there is a new interest for defense in the space area now, and there are some bodies that have been set up under the Air Forces so as to prepare space-based defense. Now, maritime patrol aircraft, we've delivered ATL-2 that's been upgraded. The initial aircraft have already been retrofitted with this upgrade, and that will be part of our sales figure for the first half of the year. Then also Japan, delivery of the first 2 Falcon aircraft there. There's been an order of a 6th Falcon, 2,000 MSA for maritime surveillance by the Japanese Coast Guard. So that's 6. That's 6 therefore in total ordered, and we hope to continue with the pace of delivery and sale of aircraft to the Japan Coast Guards. Now, France. Florence Parly, our French Defense Minister, has confirmed the decision to enter into a contract for 3 aircraft for the electronic warfare effort to replace the Gabriels that are becoming older now. So 3 Falcon 8X Arc Orange ones and 7 Falcon 2000 LXS Albatros for maritime surveillance and intervention, and 7 therefore Albatros Falcons. We've also delivered a 2nd Falcon 50 with a hatch for search and rescue chains. So we're pursuing our improvements to Falcon 50. Business jets. Well, the start of the year was a very flat market. The first half of the year was really flat in terms of orders because we had 7 orders as of the end of June this year. That was a pretty low ebb. in spite of the fact that the pre-owned aircraft got off to a pretty good start, but lots of prospects and negotiations, but not enough lot of orders. So July and August, though, all of a sudden we saw finalization and some achievement there, resulting in a total of 26 Falcons in the order intake as of the end of August. So people became pretty active over the summertime in terms of ordering Falcons, and that's quite substantially important, we think. Regarding Falcon 6X, we're pursuing our development of the 6X. Everything is as per plan, and everything is on track, and we hope to see the commissioning of the 6X by 2022 as planned. And we're really impatient to see this airplane. There have already been sales of the 6X, and we want to see it flying as quickly as we can. So Falcon in service, it was said in the film that this is #1 in all areas, not just in the general league table, but on all sorts of points that we've put here on the slide for you. So we're pretty proud of this in the company. A lot of work was put in by our teams to work closely side by side with our clients, and the two publications that are the benchmark ones here, AIN and ProPilot, US-based publications that rate the business jets as a whole. We came up on top of their list, and that we think is important. It's something that's really a feather in our cap. It's really what our clients think and say to these publications. That means that in reality, the efforts we've been putting into be customer focused, work side by side with their clients, have reliable aircraft, help them if there's an issue in terms of troubleshooting, and that's been factored in by our clients. And their service satisfaction reports bring us out on top. So Falcon in service, again, the Falcon 8X, there's been a new time record that you heard about in the film, in spite of the takeoff on the length and noise restricted field over there. So that was a new time record there. And continuous improvement of our aircraft in service with the Falcon Eye that's starting to be used widely now, the whole of the range, 8X, 7X, 900, 2000s, and so on. They'll all be equipped with the Falcon Eye. Falcon Eye is something that enables us to approach in poor weather conditions, in fog or nighttime, for example, with maximum security, up to 100 feet in very safe conditions. So it's a really good enhancement. And the Royal Australian Air Force, as you see here, 2 Falcon 7X VIP delivered out of the 3 that they ordered. And we've delivered 2 already, and their Air Force is pretty happy. So here's the Falcon family. The future, well, I'll frustrate you for another few months maybe. Future Falcon, that is, we're working on it. It's in progress, but not much on the slide because it's rather confidential for the moment. Falcon customer service. I've talked about success and satisfaction of our clients, but it's also a question of extending our service centres. That's important. We talked about that already. We started off with the ExecuJet. We continued with the buyback of TAG. And now we've continued further with the purchase of RUEG's business jet operations in Geneva and Lugano airports. So this is now quite a substantial network, well fleshed out, as well as our own capabilities for support internally, like we had in ADFS in the US. So global leadership with Jeff Shee and our business manager over there. So we're continuing the integration to the great satisfaction of our clients. We are closer and closer to where our clients operate these days.
The transformation plan is being pursued. You've seen a certain number of new appointments, the manager of the design office, and in the field of civil aviation, I announced it at the E-Base, the replacement of Guy Billac, who by Carlos Barnard, the setting up of this new support to be more efficient vis-à-vis our Falcon clients. The replacement that was made today at the top of DFG of Jean Rosanvallon, he's going to remain because of his great experience. He's going to be a consultant who will be directly by my side, by Thierry Bilbès, who's who's going to take the leadership. He was the financial director of Dassault Falcon Jet. And all this is to give more strength to a certain number of transformations carried out in the company. The deployment of the digital technology, I talked about the big data, Dassault system. We are trying to develop this new aircraft. I'm not going to tell you about this, with our 3D experience tool. And in our plans, considering the transformations we're making, you've seen the modernization projects for our plans, and you cannot see what's happening inside, but these are digital transformation programs with the arrival of SAP. That is an Apriso also. So, in the digital sector, the results of Dassault system this summer have highlighted this teamwork we're doing with Dassault system, and we really bank on 3D experience, which is a wonderful platform in terms of all its new features, so as to improve our development capacity and our productivity. From the industrial point of view, I just want to remind you that we're going to close down Argenteuil, as you know. This has been accepted by everybody. We're going to open the new plant in Cergy. We've begun working on the mock-up of the new plant. We've bought the land. We're in touch with all the authorities in the region of Cergy and the urban community of Cergy. Everything is taking place well in terms of all the schools around, to train people, to have schools that can provide employees. The modernization of Biarritz, Martignas, for those who can go there and who can visit the building, it's almost built, it's almost operational. It will be in a few weeks from now. Mérignac is being built. We have this tertiary building. Seclin, with its extension, we have linked two buildings. Seclin will deal with the primary parts from Argenteuil. And finally, Poitiers, with a certain number of activities that will be arriving in Poitiers. As for our results, so 7 aircraft at the 30th of June in terms of our order intakes compared to 18 in 2018. That's for the first half deliveries. We've delivered 17 aircraft at the 30th of June compared to the 15 in 2018. So 43 Falcons, that's the backlog, versus 53 at the end of 2018. Rafale export, no new orders for Rafale export. The delivery of 10 aircraft, the 10 Qatari ones, compared to the 2 in 2018. And the backlog is 91 versus 101 in 2018. Order intake, 2.9 billion, a large number of orders in France because of the verticalized contract, the Ravel contract, which will take place over the next 10 years, versus the 2.8 last year, which would include the 12 Qatari aircraft. The net sales, 3.1 billion. That's the net sales. Those are the deliveries of the Rafale and Falcons that I mentioned earlier on, and the delivery of the ATL2 modernized compared to the 1.7 billion in the first half of 2018. So the backlog at the 30th of June is at 19.2 billion versus 19.4 at the end of 2018. I just have to take a few seconds to update things at the 31st of August, because I told you about this summer, which was a very studious summer. Order intake 26 aircraft versus 7 on a half-yearly basis. A delivery of 23 aircraft versus 17 on a half-yearly basis. As for the Rafale, 16 Rafale were delivered compared to the 10 on a half-yearly basis. So the backlog is at 56 Falcon, 85 Rafale, compared to the figures I had indicated at the end of 2018. Now, our research, self-funded R&D, 258 million euros. That is the strengthening of our teams for the development of the Falcon aircraft. We are working on the Falcon 6X fully, and we have begun the development of new Falcons. So we are increasing our efforts in terms of self-funded R&D Falcon. Adjusted consolidated income, net sales, 3.58 million euros versus 1.709 in 2018. Operating income, 250 million euros versus 111 last year on a half-yearly basis. Financial income is equivalent, minus 26 versus minus 38 last year. Equity affiliates of Thales, 143 million euros compared to 134 million euros in 2018. Taxes vis-à-vis our income, 81 versus 21. So the net income is 286 versus 186 last year. Net income margin slightly down, 9.4% compared to 10.9% because of Thales, because Thales is less important in our results compared to 2018. Our available cash, we're using our cash to build aircraft, so we are receiving prepayments, but we are delivering our aircraft now, so we can see this in our income, and there's a drop in our cash from 5.2 to 4.8, and it's going to continue because of the delivery of the Qatari and Indian aircraft. This is what I wanted to tell you today regarding our half-yearly results, and I'm at your disposal to answer all your questions.